Hello, everybody. This is CJ Wiley with more adventures on the road. I'm up a little early today. Decided to play in a one pocket tournament in Dallas at CK's. Used to be Clicks years ago. And when I first came to Dallas, that was kind of the action spot. There were two or three Clicks around, and then later I opened CJ's Billiard Palace, which kind of took over the action around Dallas. I mean, they were still obviously playing, but we had a 24-hour room with 40 pool tables, actually 41. And for many years, it was considered one of the biggest action spots in the country. Uh, Everybody that was anybody played there. I played Efren a set there, and Efren played my friend Roger Griffis one time, one pocket, at a tournament there at CJ's. And I was staking Roger. We were playing, I think, 3,000, a race to 5 for 3,000, if I remember correctly. And Roger was getting 10 to 5. So Efren had to go to 10 balls in his pocket, and Roger had to go to 5. Now, Roger was a great one pocket player, great straight pool player. He beat me in the finals, the Ultimate 9-Ball Challenge on ESPN one year. Really strong player. But Efren was a different breed. Because Efren's a master chess player, too. So his strategic abilities combined with his, he played billiards at a super high level. Efren is the one, they don't play one rail billiards very much, but Efren told me that if they did, he's the best one rail billiard player in the world. His high run, I think he said, was 251. He averages 28. That's to make, you use 3 balls. You have to carry, hit one of the balls, go into at least one rail before you hit the other ball. And his average is 28. That's unreal. So anyway, back to Roger. So Efren beat Roger like 10 to 2, 10 to 3, 10 to 1, 10 to 4 or something. He beat him 4 games in a row and just needed one more game. So I pretty much, we call it MG, money gone. So I just counted the money, at the time at 3,000 wasn't really that much money to me. And I'd always bet on Roger. So I went and did something else. I was hosting the tournament. So, I just didn't want to watch anymore. It was painful, poor Roger. So anyway, I come back and Roger's got 2 games. So it's 4 to 2. So I didn't want to hang around and watch. I thought, well, maybe, he's nervous if I'm watching. So I left again. I come back and it's 4 to 4. So, this time I went where I could at least watch, and I watched Roger play. And, he grinded out that last game and won 5 to 4. So after it was over, Roger and I are cutting up the money and in the office, and I said, Roger, how did you make that comeback? He said, man, he says, I used reverse psychology one pocket. I said, really? What's that? He said, man, Efren was in my head. He says, it was like those first 4 games, every time I shot the right shot, it's like Efren had a better response. And he said, I could just tell that he was like 2 or 3 moves ahead of me. So what'd you do, Roger? Man, I looked to see what the right shot was, and I didn't shoot that one. He said, I shot something else. He said, and I could tell it messed Efren up because he couldn't lead him into the shots that he was trying to lead him into because Roger refused to shoot what appeared to be the right shot. Because when you're playing one pocket, generally there's like 3 different shots you can shoot. And according to your skill level and knowledge, you'll shoot the right shot. That's obvious. But when you play reverse psychology one pocket, and this works when you're getting a big spot from a better player, is whatever the right shot is, you just shoot something else, shoot something different, and then they can't control you. Because somebody that's got vastly more knowledge, and until you experience what it's like to have that knowledge, you won't understand, but they'll always be 2 or 3 moves ahead. And, you know, that's something you just you have to develop. And if you play a lot of one pocket, you start to develop that, I developed it playing the 2 foul 9 ball. And that's why, shoot or dare, I've been saying, is a way to, increase that knowledge exponentially so that you see these shots, these 3-way shots. And once you can see that, your mind shifts into a higher gear, and you can start controlling your opponents by understanding the game 2 or 3 levels, above them, or 2 or 3 shots in front of them. And that's when the game is super fun. And that's what Efren is. It's like chess. And shoot or dare is like bite-sized chess matches. Because the games only last like 3 or 4 minutes, but they're real technical. And because the game is started with a dare, you always push out a dare to start the game. So that's where the big knowledge first comes into play. Because even if I could roll out to 3 different places that are only like 6 inches apart, and it completely changes the dynamic of the game, with that shot, because I'm taking into account a lot of different factors. The positions of all the balls on the table, I'm taking into position. So when I push out, I might move one of the balls. I might make one of the balls, because you're allowed to do that. Like if you break and you hang up the 1 ball, then whoever pushes out should make the 1 ball, and then the 2 ball becomes the first shot. So the game always starts with 6 balls, but when you do that on the push out, that would be 5 balls, but, the game had already started. So there's so much, strategy that can be applied to all games. I've only played like 2 one-pocket tournaments in my life. I still play it pretty well, especially if I play it every day. But it's a complex game, not because of the 3-way shots. I understand those, but, a lot of the movement where you're just playing safe. That's how come one pocket can never be a TV game. And it gets kind of,
there's a stalled vehicle ahead.
Times, because some games will last an hour. Well, my navigational lady just told me there's a stalled vehicle ahead. That's always nice. Let me see. I'm going to cut over here. I used to live here, actually on this road I just turned on, Walnut Hill. You know who else lives on this road, except it's this way? George Bush. I lived on the same road as George Bush. Uh-oh.
Merge onto North Central Expressway, East Griffis Road, then turn right onto Walnut Hill Lane.
Anyway, I got to get to this tournament and get through this traffic. And I am wearing my seatbelt, though. Look at this.
Take the next right onto Walnut Hill Lane.
When things really are dangerous, I will wear the seatbelt.
Continue on Walnut Hill Lane for 1.5 miles.
I'll catch up with y'all later. Wish me well in this one pocket tournament. I'll win it for Roger, my buddy. Rest in peace, Roger. You're a hell of a man. Later.